All right, guys, I want to welcome everybody to our Swagu call. This is the last month of December, and I'm excited to have our fitness ambassador, Miss Shanita, our fly body fitness coach, helping us ladies over 40 to forever love ourselves and ourselves and everything. So we're about to go ahead and get started. And we, as we always do, we begin with prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this second Sunday in December, Lord. The last second, the last second Sunday in December, God. We thank you for our callers that will be on the line tonight, and we thank you for those that will listen to the report, God. We thank you for our fitness ambassador of Swag You, Shanita, for coming on these calls this year, God, and giving us some fitness tips, God, and helping us in the area of our physical bodies, God, the physical temples that you have allowed us to have here on this earth. We thank you, God, for her tenacity. We thank you, God, for her consistency, and we thank you for her words of wisdom that have come from you to help us
Mm,
through love ourselves in this phase of our life.
that's on the
Lord,
counter. Yours is
we
on
thank you
top of the ear. I put mine on the counter. Yours is right there.
We thank you, Lord, for what she's about to do, Lord. We thank you for everything that she is going to help us with, God. These and other blessings we ask in your most holy name we pray. Amen. All right, Miss Shanita, you can go ahead and unmute yourself, and the floor is yours.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you, Theron, for that introduction and that prayer. Okay, ladies, this today we're going to talk about how to eat for our dream bodies. Um, I know that everyone has a different dream for their bodies. You know, you might have a goals, have different goals for their bodies. Some of us want to be curvy but fit and healthy. Some people want to be slim and trim. Some other people, uh, they may be trying to gain weight because they may feel like they're too slim or too thin or whatever have you. So, in order to eat for your dream body, you got to know what kind of body that you want first and foremost. So, I'm going to ask a few questions based on the information and on the education that we have had up to this point. I'm going to ask you some questions about nutrition and eating and things of that nature. Just basic, general, just call out the answer because we all know these answers to these questions. They are relatively easy, um, or at least they're the ones that we're going to talk about and either debunk or solidify on what we should do. All right. So let's start with the things that we have been taught about calories. Okay. Typically, how many calories is it said that we should eat in a day per day? Yeah, I can just holler because this is going to be interactive.
2000.
2000. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So if we are walking around with this 2000 calories per day, so that's 14,000 per week. Uh, but we're gonna stick to the day. On a regular basis, we would, if we go to, let's say we go to McDonald's and we get coffee, we get the breakfast sandwich, what is that, the English McMuffin, or we get the hash browns, and yeah, that meal right there. Do you know that's approximately 750 calories right there? That's almost half.
Yes.
Almost half of your calories right there. Then let's say then that's breakfast. You haven't even gotten to lunch. Then let's say you decide to get lunch. Say you skip breakfast, all you had was coffee. Coffee is 0 calories until you add something to it. When you add sugar, then you got calories. When you add creamer, that's hella calories. So beware. All right. But I'm gonna give you a little trick to help you out with that a little bit later. If you're a coffee drinker and things of that nature. let's you go to lunchtime. Lunchtime you get we're going to Wendy's. We're gonna eat a little bit healthier, so we say. We're gonna get what do they have? They got the bacon double cheeseburger. They got the fries. They have chili and your drink or whatever have you. So you get your drinks. Your drinks is anywhere between 100 to 250 calories, depending on what it is. Then you got your foods. Now, if your drink is between 100 and 250 calories, you've added that to your breakfast, which is 750 calories, you're over the 1,000 calorie mark already. Then I don't care what kind of meal that you get. If the smallest meals that you get, we got 3 viewers on Facebook. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So tell them to just shout out whatever their answers is, or type in their answers, and then we'll communicate that way. Okay, Theron? All right. I don't care what meal you get at a restaurant, it's always in a bracket of at least 600 to almost 2,000 calories, depending on what you get. So let's get the double cheeseburger. We're gonna just get regular medium fries or whatever have you, and you're gonna have your drink. So I'm gonna just total that. I'm gonna give that about 800 calories. We're already, if you got 800 calories, that's including the drink now. I'm including the drink in this. I'm being really, really nice. So you got 750, you got 800, you've had breakfast and lunch. You still have dinner to go, but you're already at 1550. 1550. So that means you got 450 calories left for the day. All right. I'm gonna tell you right now, dinner is gonna be way more than 450 calories. Because if we eat out again, you already got a 800 calorie, approximately 800 calories per meal that you eat when you're eating out. Now, let's say you decide that you going to eat in, or you're going to cook your food. Wonderful, great. So now you have to determine what kind of meats you're going to eat. Are you having beef? Are you having chicken? Are you having fish? Are you having pork? Are you having goat, veal? It all depends on the meats that you're having, and then also the carbs that you're having. All right. So let's move on from that. The next question is, what have we been taught about the meals that we eat per day? So this is going to be multiple choice. Is it 3 meals a day, 6 times a day, 6 meals a day, or no, 6 times a day, being 3 meals, 3 snacks, 5 times, which is 3 meals, 2 snacks, or OMAD, which is 1 meal a day. 3 meals, 2 snacks, 3 meals a day. Okay, I got 3 meals. 1 is 3 meals, and 5, which would be 3 and 2 snacks. On average, the way I grew up with the 3 meals a day and 2 snacks. We had the opportunity to have a snack in the middle of the day, and then the last snack would be typically considered dessert, which is after our last meal. So that's how I grew up. And a lot of people grew up on 3 meals a day for the most part. That's what majority of people do. But did you know that you can eat for your body, what your dream body is? You just got to figure out how much to feed yourself, how much to fuel your body in that equation to get to where you want to be with your body. Sometimes your body may need the 3 meals and 2 snacks a day. Sometimes it may just need to just 3 meals a day. And then there are even days where you can just go 1 meal for the day. And that is, for me, that is really, really hard because I'm a foodie. I like to eat. I am not going to deny myself food. I'm a seafood person. I see the food, I'm going to eat it. Okay. I don't know about anybody else, but that's how that works. Um, all right. So what have we been taught, or what have we learned about carbs per se? What do you know about carbs? Seafood. You respond to my seafood joke. I seafood, I like it. Low carbs. All right, low carbs. Right now, especially in the last, I say the last 10, 20 years or so, it's been really, really big on low carbs, low carbs, low carbs, low carbs. But carbs are the things that give you your energy. So when you have diets that cut out the carbs or make it very, very low carbs, um, that's depleting you. It's not giving you enough energy to be able to really fuel you and your body throughout your day. So that's something that I tend to be a little leery on, when they say low carbs and or no carbs diets, those types of fad diets or things of that nature. Any diet is not long term sustainable. So therefore, I'm always looking for an eating plan or a new way of eating your foods, because if you plan out what you're going to eat, then you're eating, you're eating to live instead of living to eat, basically. You have more control over what is going to your body, and then that way it is fueling your body to be its best. So with that, I don't ever really push diets whatsoever. For those who do it, all well and fine. I'm not knocking you if you do, because there's keto, there's so many different diets out there. I just want you to be careful and mindful of how long you're on those types of diets and what the benefits are versus the cons, you know the what's the opposite, the anyway, the pros and the cons. I want you to be mindful of what's good in this thing as well as what's bad in it. Low carbs for long periods of time is not sustainable, and it's not good for your body. Okay. Um, what have we learned about fats? I know what I learned. I know what I learned. What about fats? What do we know that's out there right now? Low fats, no fat. That's the biggest label out here. That's the biggest thing. And unfortunately, over the past few decades, it's become a fad or a buzzword. I will say that, a buzzword in the fitness health industry. Yes, yes, low, no fats, keto. Oh, yes. But keto actually is one that is a diet that is about high fats or eating more fats. My problem with it is that with the keto diet, the types of fats is not. I don't feel like the types of fats are really um, deep dive. They don't do a deep dive into what types of fats that we should be consuming. They'll tell you, oh, you can have such and such oil, coconut oil, I say something like that, or you can have butter that is grass-fed butter, this, that, and the other, and the whole nine. Okay, let's just be real. Most foods are, it is what it is, what it is. It's fat. You got to be careful with it, regardless to whether it's a what they call a healthier fat. And I'm talking oils, I'm not talking about the healthy fats that come through like meat sources, or such as like salmon, omegas, and things of that nature, or even supplements and things of that nature. I'm talking about the butter, margarine, the canola oil, coconut oil, those types of things. I think that a lot of people are getting confused, or they just don't know enough about the good high quality high fats, the good quality good fats that we should be consuming versus what is not. a good fat. And those things we should be avoiding. So for fats is always a big deal, big deal. Low fats, no fats, but you gotta have fat. That's what the part of your equation. Your dream body still has a greater amount of fat, and it's not only 5% or 10% or no percent fat. That doesn't make sense, and because our bodies need that in order to be its best or to work at its best. All right. Um, Gonna do one more, and that's proteins. What have you heard about proteins? What have we learned thus far that we know of about proteins? Well, I'll say this: most proteins are, first and foremost, people consider proteins to be your meat source. A lot of people say, okay, when you say protein, they think in meat source, but proteins can be found in other things other than meats. It could be found in your beans and legumes. It can be found in nuts. It can be found in cheese. There's a lot in eggs. That's a byproduct. People consider that an animal byproduct, which would be a meat byproduct. Um, but eggs, protein can be found in dairy, such as your yogurts. Greek yogurt is a great source of protein. So protein is not just one type of thing. There's even plant-based proteins. We have whey protein, soy protein, those types of things. And a lot of people get it confused or don't know what kind of proteins to add into their diets or or, or their eating regimens when they decide to pick one of these diets, such as keto, paleo, vegan, or vegetarian. These are ones that these are diets that tend to exclude or take out the meat protein sources and then leave people with having to look for other options. And most times when people don't know, they just don't go to it. And then it's they rely heavily on the other two things, which are your fats and your carbs. So if you take out something completely that's part of your formula, I don't care what kind of body that you want, you need to have protein, carbs, and fats. That's got to be part of your program. Protein, carbs, and fat. Now, how much protein, how much carbs, and how much fats all depends on your body type and the goals that you have for your body. Now, it also depends on what your body has and does not have. I use myself a lot in examples like that, like this, when I say that I don't have a gallbladder. So my body cannot process certain foods. So I now know that I have to avoid certain types of meats because they are too fatty. I love ribeye. The ribeye steak is a delicious, but it's the fattiest meat or fattiest steak out there. And that's one of those things that I have to be very, very careful of because my body cannot and will not break that completely down. So when it's something like that, when your body is missing things or you have diabetics or you're pre-diabetic or different types of things, your body reacts differently to foods than from one person to the next because everybody's not the same. We're all individuals and we all are, our bodies act and react to food completely and totally different. And that's something that you have to take in consideration when you decide to on a diet or a regimen that you're going to take on. Uh, yeah, that's that. Also, there is this thing with the time. There's this what's been really popular, especially, and I would say really popular. I think I hear it almost all the time in the last 5 years or so, is this intermittent fasting. Now, I don't have anything against intermittent fasting. That's my disclaimer right there. But when you're over 40, I need for us to look at intermittent fasting totally and completely different. I need for us to look at our lifestyle, because we could have already been in a fasted state that has caused our bodies to go into a starvation mode. And if you add the intermittent fasting on top of your starvation mode, you are you're going to get the opposite effect of what you're looking for. If you do not eat, your body will gain weight. I'll just let you know that. Not eating enough carbs, not eating enough fats, not eating enough protein will pack on the pounds, just like eating too much will. That's why you got to figure out what's your formula for your body. Now, the average body that they say that we should do 40, 30, 30. That's the average. But you have to really figure out what's best for you. Most of us don't need a lot of fats like that. You could cut it back by 5-10%. So you doing 25 or 20% fat versus the 30% fat. You can also change up your carbs. And not all carbs are bad. That's the thing. Sometimes when you add carbs to a protein, a plant-based protein, it becomes a perfect protein in a sense, and it works for your body rather against your body. Prime example of that would be beans and rice. A lot of people don't realize that when you combine beans, pretty much any kind of bean, and rice, white rice, brown rice, period, it becomes a perfect protein in so many and the carbs are not they'll go against you. They'll work for you rather than against you. I'll put it that way. That's the simplest way to do that. But a lot of people are all against, and a lot of these diets are against exactly. That is why Asians eat a lot of rice, because they pair it with the right things. That's what keeps them slim. When they eat big, when you see a chunkier or a bigger Asian, it's usually because they've changed the way they eat, or they've been taught to eat, or whatever it may be. That's not normal. It's not normal to see a heavy set Asian American, Asian American, Asian period. They are thin and they eat rice all the time. So the story or the information about how white rice and grains and things of that nature being bad for our bodies is misinformation. I just feel like we have to be educated enough to know what works for our bodies and what works against our bodies. And carbs is not a bad thing, especially when you know how to use them to fuel your body to be its best, rather than feeding what most times it is feeding your feelings. So that's a big deal. That's a real big deal. Okay. Okay, so the formula for your dream body, again, depends on what your goals are. If you're trying to release weight, I don't like to say lose weight. First and foremost, you need to find out how many calories you should be ingesting per day. Now, I don't want you to go and start tracking and things like that. Just look at how you've eaten before. Think about what you ate yesterday. And just, did I eat in the morning? Did I not eat in the morning? How many calories did you eat approximately um, during your lunch period, if you had a lunch? Right now, most people are on Netflix and chilling. So we've been gorging on calories. A lot of people have been gorging on calories because there's pretty much nothing to do all day. Um, and the calories that we're ingesting are basically from carbs and fats. They don't really have a lot of proteins or anything in it um, to help knock off the excess weight or anything of that nature. We're not sitting up here with carrots and celery sticks. No, that's not what's happening. We got regular chips. We got dip it in, things of that nature. We're enjoying cookies and cakes and all sorts of stuff out here. And those are the things that we need to be mindful of. I am totally against restricting yourself from having anything that you crave. I feel like if you have a craving for it, get it, but get it in a smaller portion. This way you feed the craving, you satisfy it, and then it's gone. Because if you don't, let me tell you what's going to happen. You're craving cake. Let's just say that. I don't care. I don't know. What's your favorite? They say that chocolate cake is the basic. Everybody loves chocolate cake. Personally, I don't, but it is what it is. So let's say you decide that you have a craving for chocolate cake. You say, nope, I'm not going to eat the chocolate cake. I'm going to find something else to cure this craving. And you decide, I'm going to have, maybe you have, I'm trying to think of something sweet, but that's not, you have an orange. You say you might have an orange, you might not have an orange, you might just say, okay, forget it. Let me grab a cookie, let me grab some crackers, let me pick up a Snickers. Next thing, you will never satisfy that thing until you give it what it wants. So instead of you eating everything else under the sun, just get a small portion of cake, get a slice of cake. They actually sell it in the stores as a slice, and then cut the slice in half again, and then eat that portion and eat it slow and enjoy it. The longer you take to chew and enjoy your food, the better it is for your body. It actually helps with your immune system and things of that nature. So enjoy your food. A lot of times what we do is we rush through our food so fast that we barely taste it, and it's in such big chunks that it takes our bodies have a very hard time breaking it down. We should chew, on average, every bite should be about 15 to 20 chews. um Ultimately, if the best would be if you could do 30, chew it 30 times. It will be liquid. I promise you, it will be liquid by the time that you decide to swallow. But it's better for your body overall. Your body will break it down, and it'll eliminate itself a lot faster. It won't stick to your hips and other places. If you just take a few more moments to chew your food, really enjoy and chew your food. That's what it is. I mean, unfortunately, we live in a society that everything is quick, 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 and
Yes.
it's not good. It's not good for us to always be quick, 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 quick. Microwave and everything. So in such a fast manner, and our bodies have adjusted to it, but it also has shown us that what happens when we do that to it. over time we start to spread out in areas that we may not want to have spread out in, or our bodies start to break down, and you notice that you know you become lactose intolerant to some things, or your body, you start having allergies to certain things. All of this comes from us not taking the time to really enjoy and process our foods the way we used to. When we were younger, I know when I was younger, we had a lunch hour. We were supposed to eat our food, and eat our food, and then we could run outside after we ate our food. Now if you get a 30-minute lunch, that's a miracle. By the time you get to your car and get to the store, your lunch hour is practically over. That's if you didn't bring lunch. Now, if you brought lunch, you may or may not get a few bites in, and then the next thing you know, somebody's calling your name and something wants you for something. You get distracted. We don't have undivided time that we just sit and eat. Even eating dinner has practically become a thing of the past, because families don't sit down and eat, and without the TV, without the phones, without all these distractions, to really just enjoy each other, and and enjoy the meal. That doesn't happen anymore. It used to back some years ago, but the way technology and things have come along, that's not how it works anymore. So this is what I'm going to suggest for you to do. In order for you to figure out what your dream body is, first off, you need to find out how many calories you should be eating. Now, on an average, women should eat anywhere between 1,600 to 2,200 calories per day. Now, that depends on your activity level, as well as, yeah, that depends mostly on your activity level. Because if you're more active, then you're going to need more calories. If you're less active, then you should be eating less calories, because your body is not moving as much. That's one. Then you need to figure out your carbs, your fats, and your proteins. Proteins is always going to be more than everything else, because those are the proteins help build your muscles. Muscles burn off your fat. So you always want to be building muscle. And as we age, especially after 40, we have the tendency in women, we lose our muscle mass about 5% every year. every every 5 years. So it's 1% muscle mass every year, so it's 5% every 5 years. That's a lot, especially if we're not exercising on a regular, or we're not lifting weights. And a lot of women be like, oh no, I'm not going to lift weights because I don't want to get bulky. I don't want to look like a guy. You know what? Those are all myths. We are not built like that. We were not born like that. So therefore, you're not going to have, you're not going to bulk up. Usually that is something else that they're adding to their diets or their eating regimen to help them bulk up and look that way. That is not something that normally or naturally happens when you lift weights. And when you're lifting weights, you're lifting light weights. You're not lifting 150 pounds. You're not lifting what you weigh or anything close to that kind of stuff. It's never like that. It's just to build the muscles that you have so that you can keep it as long as possible. All right. All right. Then you got your fats. Again, fats that tend to be very good for us is olive oil. So olive oil, coconut oil, and they actually have it out there that they have flavors. So it's like butter coconut oil, butter flavor, or butter some type of butter flavored coconut oil. Then they have garlic coconut oil, avocado oil, canola oil. That's one of the healthiest, other than olive oil and coconut oil, uh, healthiest oils that's out here. And I
Oh,
think
avocado oil.
avocado is very good, but it's also very expensive. Avocado is very good for you. Avocados are awesome, healthy fats as well as a healthy fat oil that's good for you. Um, exactly. You are so right on that. I love me some. Just thinking about it just made my mouth water. Sorry, guys. But those are the types of fats that we need in our eating regimen, or as a part of our daily diet. I'll use the word for the most folks. Most people say diets. Carbs, I feel like you should monitor them to see which ones work for you best. You got oats that's out here, quinoa, couscous. These are great grains and carbs that are, they're low fat, but they're good for you carbs, and they keep you filled. Whereas most times when you eat simple carbs, or it turns into sugar. That's first and foremost. And then when it turns into sugar, it then immediately turns into fat. So that's something that we need to be mindful of. Where oatmeal, takes a longer for it to break down, so it's not going to turn into um, sugars right away. Instead, it takes a lot longer for it to break down. So then it's actually feeding your muscle sources, therefore building them up, which is also helping you cut the fat. I mean, it's a whole scientific thing of how things work, but just being more mindful of getting complex carbs in there, as much possible, to help you with your weight release journey. uh, some little fun tips, because I did say that I would give you some tips to help you out. If you're a coffee drinkers, and if you were like me, I like a lot of cream, which is a lot of calories and it's a lot of sugar when you're getting the flavored creamers and things of that nature. One way that I have been able to cut the calories as well as the sugar content is to use the protein shakes, high energy protein shakes. I usually get Walmart's version of it's called high protein. It has 30 grams of protein in it. It has 1 gram of sugar. It comes in some awesome flavors. I love caramel, vanilla, and you pour that in your coffee instead of creamer. So now you done got a power coffee. It has protein inside of it, and it has little bit of carbs, because you have a few sugars but not a lot. um and it's delicious. Who how, you can't go wrong if it's already delicious, and it's low carbs, low sugar, and still tastes just as good. I like it mixing it up, because I feel like I'm getting a caramel, whatever my Starbucks caramel thing is. um um a caramel coffee or a cinnamon dolce. My latest one is the cinnamon. They have a cinnamon something, so I make a cinnamon dolce, uh, fake Starbucks coffee. But adding the protein into your coffee as creamer is delicious and is healthy for you. Something, if you're not getting enough of your uh vegetables, or your carbs in your vegetable source and things of that nature, go and get the super greens drink that has most of your vegetables and fruits and vegetables in it. I love Country Farm. They are awesome. It tastes like berries, which is so it's great for me. That one's red. That one's the berry flavored is red, so it tastes like you're drinking like a fruit punch, a berry punch or something. They do have one that's called natural flavor, so I'm presuming that it tastes like a green smoothie. But these are things that help you get the nutrients that you need into your body to help you get to where you want to be for your dream body. How to get to your dream body by using the equation that works best for your body. Because everybody's equation is different, but you just got to figure out what's best for you. And that's that, y'all. We can get these dream bodies. We're gonna whip them back in shape. Cause all this year, 2020 was one of the year canceling everything. But
Yes.
we're not canceling. We're gonna just get a jump start on 2021. That's all. We got 2021.
So what do you think about the Slim Fast drinks?
Slim fast drinks. Ugh.
I
Okay,
mean, they say high protein, 1 gram of sugar, one net carb.
yes. With the Slim Fast, okay. I'm not knocking it because it works for certain people. I had to get on the floor, guys. um, it works for certain people. My only problem with that is that if they're using it as a meal replacement, it is not the best meal replacement. The protein shakes that I spoke about just a moment ago, those are not meal replacements. Those are actual supplements. So you drink them in addition to your meal. And I think that's what the biggest problem I have with Slim Fast and things like that is such a low calorie and a drink. It gives you the protein. It does not give you enough carbs. And that's the thing that makes you crash when you feel in that slump at 12, 1, 2, or 3 o'clock in the afternoon is because you already depleted all of your energy source, which comes from your carbs, in a drink that's 200 calories. That's not sustainable. You should never go under uh you 1200 calories is dangerously low for women, dangerously low. So I really don't like for women to dip past 1500 calories, because first and foremost we have to figure out what it is, what state we're in. A lot of us in the 40 and over are in a starvation mode, so you got to correct that before you go and do something drastic such as the Slim Fast or the different types of diets that's out there that restricts your calories and things of that nature, because you've been in starvation mode. You have to reverse what you've done in the first place. And then once you've been there for a while, once you've even killed yourself out, then you can decide whether or not you want to go on a diet or some other source. But when you learn to feed yourself or eat for your dream body, you won't have to go through all of that. You really won't. Because when you start to eat properly for your body will let go a lot of the stuff that it's been holding on to because you may not have been eating for so long.
Good point. You're right. And water too. So if we increase our water, then we can kind of help
Oh,
with that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Water is oh my goodness. I actually just showed just had a webinar where I showed the difference. A lot of people get overwhelmed with drinking bottles of water when they say you should have 8 cups of water, blah 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 blah. Most of them think that they're supposed to drink 8 bottles of water. No, a bottle of water is more than two of your servings per day. So if you drink 4 in a day, then you technically get what you need per day. Now, if you're trying to lose weight, then they say drink half your body weight in ounces of water. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you're supposed to So they say you're supposed to drink at least 100 ounces of water, which is approximately one, two, mm, it's approximately just under a gallon of water, a gallon of water per day. If you don't like water, you're not going to drink a gallon of water per day. So my thing is to start with what you can do. You can drink 2 bottles of water per day. And then as you've conquered those 2 bottles, then add on another bottle and then another bottle until you get to where you need to be. And you'll know when you're getting the right amount of water in you, because your urine will be a light yellow or clear. That's when you know that you're drinking the appropriate amount of water. But we will always use enhancers to help us out for those who don't like just plain water. Buy the water enhancers, the crystal lights or the squeezables. I like the squeezy ones where you can control how much
Oh,
goes inside of it, and then you can wean yourself off of it as you get better with your water intake.
okay. I hope y'all enjoyed these tips that Shanita. I'm gonna have to take them and put it under something. Well, repurpose all of this together. I
Yeah,
really am.
I feel you on that one. I feel you on that one.
Because you have been giving some awesome tips to to love ourselves where we're at, and just continue on. But for our dream body, we cannot eat how everybody else eats, and
You
everything is
can't.
not for everybody, especially us being over age of 40. So I really love that.
I really, really want for us to really start to focus on the things that we eat, because as we get older, our bodies break down to the point that it can only digest a certain amount of foods anyway. So we need to be on point with what's going on with our bodies as we age and give it as much as possible what it needs to be its best for us. I just recently told somebody, we need to be thankful that our bodies have been there for us up to this point. But now that we know better, we have to do better so that it can perform better for us. So, yeah.
Yeah. Because the other day, I just I wanted some soda. Like, no, I'm just going to go to Walgreens is my place for the Arizona green tea. They're normally two for $1.
Uh-huh.
So I go in there and get that in supplement for drinking soda because I'm like, that soda turns into carbs and fat, and so
True.
yeah.
But here's something for when you have to have that bubbly type. There is buble or bubbly, or I don't know if they call it buble or bubbly. I don't know what it's called, but I love bubbly. They have the seltzer waters or whatever, have it flavored seltzer waters. Those things. Now, not the ones that have. There's some that have already have some sugars or stuff added to it. Not those. I'm talking about the ones that's basically. I'm trying to think of the other name of. It's another really really popular one. LaCroix. That's one.
Oh,
LaCroix.
I seen that name.
Bubbly. Uh, there's another one that's out there. Oh, Perrier. You know, you can grab one of those, okay, because those are basically water that just has bubbles or the carbonation to it. And if you need the taste, add an enhancer to it. Add That's at least you know that that's 5 calories versus 105 to 120 calories. A can of soda is 100 to 200 calories. So if you can control the amount of stuff that you add to it, because those waters that I mentioned are 0 calories, because it's water, it's just a carbonated, and it may have flavors. Some of them may have flavors, and most of them, you can always get it plain. But then just squeeze a little bit of and water enhancer in it.
Mm-hmm.
Delish. And it tastes like a soda. It'll taste more like a soda to you then. You're like, oh, not as many calories.
Okay. Well, let everybody know again where they can find you on social media land.
I can be found at flybodyfit.com. I can be found there, as well as Instagram at flybodyfit, which is FLYYBODYFIT, and Facebook at Fly Body Fit. I tried to keep it simple. Everywhere that I am is Fly Body Fit. Fly Body Fit.
Fly Body Fit on all social media platforms.
All social media. There it is.
All right, guys, we want to thank Miss Shanita for coming on to our call tonight. Um, Next Sunday, we no, I'm gonna have a
I thought you said this was the last call.
no for the second Sunday.
Oh, I get it. I got it now.
But next Sunday we have it's a guest. Hold on one second. Next Sunday's call we have Shania Carter. So she called herself the purpose, um, not rescuer, resuscitator. Okay, I had to look at the word resuscitator. She is the purpose resuscitator. She will be empowering us on next Sunday at 8:15, and we'll see y'all next week. Thanks again.
All right, love. Have a great one.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.